Sometimes it can seem easy to just hand our kids cereal and move on with the day. So, I wanted to share with you guys 7 simple breakfast meals that my family of 6 loves and we have in our rotation. You probably have everything on hand for this first meal, which is breakfast tacos. So, we had made tacos a couple nights before. We had some leftover taco meat, and I really wanted to use that up. So, I just make some of the eggs, and as the eggs are cooking, I then add in the leftover taco meat. I make it exactly like I would tacos. We had some leftover queso that we put on top for some of them. We also use salsa for some, and some just like it with a little bit of shredded cheese, and makes it so easy. This next meal is a Dutch baby. This is actually newer for us. Maybe the past 3 months we've been making it, but my kids really love it and they request, and it's so quick and easy. I'm using my stand-up mixer here, but really all you need is a whisk and a bowl, and you can do everything all in one bowl there. So we're using eggs, butter, sourdough, start or discard. There's many different recipes that do not include the sourdough discard. I'll share my recipe that I use down below. We also use whole milk, salt, vanilla, ground cinnamon, and we like to just do it plain and then top it with the blueberries at the end with some powdered sugar, and it's very tasty. We don't typically use maple syrup on top, but I know some will do that. Some recipes will call for the fruit to be mixed in with it and then baked, and both ways are so yummy. So I think you'll really love this one. When you take it out of the oven, it is nice and fluffy and has these beautiful bubbles, but that does fall, so it's risen in the oven and then it falls a little bit when it does come out, so it's completely normal. The next breakfast we have is yogurt bowls. So I'm using vanilla Greek yogurt, but you can use plain as well, and we do that often, and we'll just sweeten it with either honey or maple syrup. I like to add my fruit to the top, so as you can see, we have some blueberries and we have strawberries. We'd use some oranges here as well. We had apples. And then I went ahead to my own and add some pumpkin seeds. Normally I like some type of nut in there, something crunchy, but we didn't really have that this morning. But you can really add anything to a yogurt bowl to make it nice and healthy and add some nutrients. You can add in some flax seeds. We do that sometimes as well, and some chia seeds. Any type of seed is really good, as well as any type of nut we love to add in as well. In one part of my motherhood journey, I actually hated making breakfasts. I didn't enjoy waking up and making my family a meal. But my kids would wake up hungry and I would wake up hungry, and so it needed to be done. So I actually created a weekly schedule of breakfasts. And so it was the same every single week. So it looked something like, Monday was eggs and toast, Tuesday was yogurt bowls, Wednesday was breakfast sandwiches, and so on. And then typically Fridays was like a fun, like waffle or pancake. And then Saturdays or Sundays were reserved for cereal because my kids do enjoy a good bowl of cereal for breakfast. So it's fun for them to look forward to being able to have that. So that might be an idea for you if you struggle with breakfasts. That really helped kickstart me. I don't need to use that anymore, but it still does sit on my refrigerator. The next breakfast I have here is breakfast sandwiches. My 9-year-old loves these and requests them often. All my kids eat them a little bit differently, but we like to get these maple sausages just from Walmart, but you can really use any type of meat. My husband a lot of times just likes simple deli meat on there and fried up a little bit. Then we fry the eggs and with some salt and pepper. We like to put this on bagels. We, of course, if you use bread, you can use English muffins as well. And then we put a little bit of mayo on there and top the eggs with cheese and assemble the bagel. And it's super simple, quick, and easy, and we all love it. Okay, so omelets are a very common breakfast, but sometimes we forget about things and we need to refresh our memory. So I wanted to share with you guys how I make our omelets, and sometimes we add other variations to it, but I will just mix up one egg. It's a perfect size for my children. I'll just add salt and pepper to it. You don't want any milk because it'll make it too fluffy to flip over. Add some cheese onto there, let it melt some, and then fold it over. And this is what it looks like. I had some leftover bacon from a meal that I had made earlier this week, and so I wanted to go ahead and use that up. So we already had that in the fridge, so I went ahead and just cut it up and fried it up so that way I could easily just lay it right there on the omelet. So a lot of times we like some type of meat, and so we were happy, my kids were happy to find that we had some bacon with us. For this meal, I had help from my 3-year-old. We made muffins today, and muffins are a simple recipe that you may have thought about, but today I actually did not have any eggs. We were all out of fresh eggs, so I had actually never used this recipe before, but I wanted to share it with you because even if you're out of simple, staple pantry items, you can make a tasty breakfast for your family. So the trick is when making muffins without eggs is to use a vinegar or lemon juice, and that'll help give it that soft, flaky texture that you like in muffins. And so this was really tasty. A lot of times we'll do maybe blueberry muffins, or here today we did chocolate chip muffins, and it fills up my kids, and sometimes it even stretches to the next day, or sometimes they just eat it as a snack, another muffin later on that day as well. Okay, so here I am making waffles. So waffles is just another typical breakfast that you can have, but I made the sourdough discard waffles. If you've never had sourdough discard waffles, I encourage you, even if you can find a friend that that will give you some discard, you need to try it because they're so much softer, and the taste is just so much better with discard waffles. My kids even actually prefer it better. But I used all-purpose flour, sugar, baking soda, milk, butter, the sourdough starter, eggs, and we also did some with chocolate chips in them as well. But my family loves having some nice, good, thick waffles for breakfast. Now, I have to tell you, a tragedy happened this morning with my sourdough starter. I had put it in the oven, um, with the light on. The temperature wasn't on or anything, just the light, just to kind of kickstart some bubbles and get it going because I had started my sourdough late today and wanted to make a recipe. And I totally forgot that it was in there. And I started the oven and set it to 400 degrees and I lost all my sourdough. So, a lesson was learned today that maybe I should just keep some discard set aside often because this is not the first time that I've lost all of my starter. And so have had to start all over the whole almost 2 week process of getting it going. So I'm debating whether or not I'm going to restart it again, or right now, or wait a little bit on that. So if you have sourdough in your home, my tip for you is make sure you have some starter set aside in case something like that happens to you. So today we actually went ahead and added fruit to our breakfast. Now, it was actually my 3-year-old's birthday, so we took it up a notch by making some homemade whipped cream. I typically have a heavy whipping cream in my fridge, so I just eyeball everything really. So I add heavy whipping cream, and then as that starts to thicken, I add in some vanilla and then put in powdered sugar. And again, I just eyeball it and keep an eye on it as it thickens up, and then just taste as I go to make sure I've added enough sweetener. But my 11-year-old actually plated the food, and it's so cute. And here we are singing happy birthday for my 3-year-old's birthday breakfast. Thank you guys so much for coming along today. If you're new here, welcome. Please feel free to subscribe and share and leave me a comment what your favorite breakfast is that you have in your home.